What's up everyone? Today we're back with another exciting video. I'm really excited about this one. Today we're going to be looking at an unboxing of the Pixel 4a as well as some first impressions. To be honest, I'd filmed an unboxing video for this, didn't work. Stuff got messed up. So we're redoing it, but I'm going to throw in my first impressions because I've been using this now for a few days, 2 or 3 days at this point. So I'm really excited about the Pixel 4a. Some backstory, I've been an iOS user for years and years and years. I used an iPhone 4S to a 5S, then I got eventually a Nexus 5X actually. I actually have my old Nexus 5X right here. Love this thing. It was a terrible device, really bad. Google messed this up, but it was great. I loved the size, I loved the feel in hand, and I loved Android. It was great. However, I really wanted iMessage because I was in high school and high schoolers are terrible and they would not put me in group chats. Apple, great job. So I got a 6S, eventually went and got a 10R when I went to school. But iOS is not my favorite. There's not a lot of customization and I find that it is too locked down. I really wanted the freedom. Plus the 10R is just way too big. It's massive. I ended up actually getting a 12 mini just a few weeks ago and used it for a little bit for this channel. And it was great. It was a great size. I really liked the 12 mini. It felt wonderful in the hand. 2 problems. I couldn't afford it in iOS. So I returned it, kept looking at Android devices. Sadly, the Pixel 6, way too big. I tried it once in a Best Buy and decided I could not do that. Was not for me. My hands are too small. Which is sad, because if Google had made it even 6 inches the size of the Pixel 5, I would have bought that thing in a heartbeat. It would be my phone right now. But they didn't, and they discontinued the Pixel 5. So I would have had to get it used, and in the wise words of our Lord and Savior, Flossie Carter, I'm not getting a phone that's had someone's mad dumps on it. So, I ordered this, the Pixel 4a from Best Buy. Google was out of stock, completely. Best Buy only had the barely blue color, and frankly, I wanted the black one. I know everyone says that it's a boring color, but I want matte black everything. Hashtag MKBHD. But here we are with the Pixel 4a. I'm Michael Buncher with TechMB. Let's get into it. So, starting off, looking at the box. Once again, I said that I got the barely blue. Google had none. Best Buy only had the blue option, which is funny, because this was the limited edition option, and this is the only one they had. I digress. Moving around, you can see the side, highlighting that color. On the back, hashtag Team Pixel. There would be some plastic covers, but I already took those off because I've been using this for a few days. So, getting into it, pulling off the lid. Oh yeah, that's the nice stuff. We have the phone, put screen protector back on, but normally this wouldn't look this janky. This is just my fault. And we're gonna take this out, set you down to the side, and look at what comes in the rest of the box when you get it. I will say, I do appreciate the SIM ejector removal tool, which Google is very nice to include. You also get your nice paperwork. Plug it, file it to the side, not necessary. Inside you get a power brick, which you do not get on newer iPhones or newer devices in the box, as well as a USB-C cable, as well as an OTG transfer tool. This is actually really useful, and I used this when I was setting up on my phone to transfer all my stuff from my iPhone over to my Pixel. Some stuff you just can't transfer. I'm still working on getting passwords transferred, but for the most part, most apps will transfer over this. You just gotta be careful that your iPhone backup isn't encrypted, because if it is, unless you remember the password, which I thought I did, but apparently I didn't, you can't transfer a lot of stuff, and then you've got to redo the whole cycle. So I ended up having to reset most of my phone to clear the encryption password, and then I was able to transfer stuff between my iPhone over my Pixel. So that is what's in the box. Very simple unboxing experience, not a lot going on. So over here, we will there we go. And we'll just turn this on. So as I said, I have been using the Pixel 4a for a few days now, and I do have some early thoughts. This is by no means a review, this is just an early impressions because I've been using it for a few days and I figured I would give you some thoughts while I'm still testing it. So first off, on the design, I do actually quite like the design. Yes, it is made of plastic and no one grabbing this is going to conflate it for a metal build or all glass build or whatnot. This is quite obviously not as expensive a device, but that really hasn't mattered to me. It does feel very nice in the hand. I do quite enjoy the squared off edges of the newer iPhone series, but the rounded edge here does make it fit into your hand very nicely, which I do like, and it is very light, which I really missed coming from a big phone like the iPhone XR. So it does feel very good in the hands. The plastic is very soft, but it has a nice kind of texture to it, which makes it sit better in my hand. But even with the plastic, which frankly I'm not worried about breaking, there is still the front screen, and the new Gorilla Glass and the plastic design was not enough for me to rock this without a case or a screen protector. So there is a screen protector on here, and I bought this case from Supcase to use because they make some nice cases. This was a good middle ground between very thick and no protection at all. So far, I'm enjoying the design. On the screen, it is pretty good. For a $350 phone, I'm impressed. The bezel size is good. I don't mind the hole punch so far, it hasn't been an issue. It has a very nice screen to body ratio. I haven't gotten a chance to really test the brightness all that much because it's been fairly cloudy and rainy where I am, and I've only actually been able to start using this as my daily phone yesterday, as of the day you're watching. So I haven't had the chance to really test the brightness out. It does get decently bright. I do wish that it got a little brighter. I'm going to continue testing that though and see how that works, if it actually becomes an issue. I do like the AMOLED display. It does get black, if Google lets it, that is, because a lot of the dark mode on this phone is not actually dark. You kind of can't really see it on video right now, but it's just a light gray everywhere, which is not pure black, and I would really appreciate just a pure black screen. It would help save battery life as well as just make everything look more striking. But overall, the screen is pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it after my first few days of usage. Next up is the battery, which this is one of the things, and this is why I'm calling it hands-on, first impressions. The battery life has been kind of terrible so far. It hasn't gotten me through a day. I had to charge it to get to 26% today after about 11 hours of mixed usage. Granted, I was pushing it because I actually really do like using this device, but so far battery hasn't been great. However, I've heard that that's a thing with Pixels. It takes a few days for the adaptive battery mode to kick in and kind of figure out how you use the device. So if you go into battery, you can say adaptive preferences and extend battery life based on your phone usage. It's supposed to learn how you use your phone, and then it'll gradually improve battery life. It's kind of too early for me to tell if that's working or not, so I'm not going to say too much about battery because it might be getting better. I will say it charges very rapidly, which is very nice. Also, on that same note, performance is interesting. Loading apps is quite fast and quite snappy, and most of the time, general UI performance is very good. It's just sometimes you'll go into an app like the camera, for example, and it hangs, and then it just chokes, and the phone kind of decides it's done for the day. Weird things like that. For the most part, performance is very good. I think sometimes Google's animations, especially in the Pixel launcher, are made very weirdly. Like the swipe up sometimes glitches out. But so far, I'm pretty happy with performance, especially considering this is the Snapdragon 730G. Everyone got kind of concerned about, oh, it's a mid-range chip, it's a few years old now. So far, I'm coming from an iPhone XR. I'm not really having that many issues. UI performance, I think, could be improved, which actually leads me into my next point about Android 12, which so far feels very unfinished. There's a lot of weird things going on in Android 12 that I think Google needs time to work out. It is supposed to be finished, obviously, it is finished software, but there's a few places where Google needs to go back through with some quality control, as well as just establish what their design language is. For example, looking in messages at the new message button, this is not the same shape as our control center or our quick settings panels. I don't understand. I'm not a UI designer, I'm not a graphic designer. I think Google needs to take a look through their design department again and just iron some things out. Lastly, kind of immediate things that I noticed. The fingerprint sensor is very nice, it is very quick, and it's very accurate. It needs to be recessed a lot more than it is. It is basically flush, which makes it kind of hard to find sometimes. Granted, using a case does help with that. And the always-on display is actually pretty nifty. I've got my phone currently on low battery mode, but let's go turn that off. And you can see, here it is, always-on mode, display on. So overall, so far I've been enjoying my time with the Pixel 4a, and I am very excited to continue using this. I bought this as my personal phone. I'm intending on using this for a while now, while in between testing other devices. And so far, I'm happy with my purchase. Look for my full review coming in the next few weeks. I'm also going to be having some videos about the iPhone 12 mini coming up, so don't be scared. Go ahead, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, leave me a comment if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. See ya.